themselves. But there are people out there that are looking to collectivize everything. They're looking to take away your individual rights to own property, to have freedom. And a lot of our freedom is being given away by the fact that we have choice, but we're not invoking it. We have too many assumptions in our culture. Too many people take things at face value, and they don't have the intellectual self-defense to question these sort of things and break them apart. So the Great Reset, what is it? It's a bifurcation of our society. It's a splitting of our society. We've already seen this splitting going on. We've called it red pill, blue pill, but a better explanation might be to think or not to think. The blue pill people, they take everything at face value. They assume that what authority says is true. And the red pill people, we ask questions. We look into source materials, and we share that with our friends that are conscious and conscientious, and building up an immune resistance to the BS, the propaganda, the lies that take away our ability to have freedom in all the facets that we could. So 20 years ago, when I started looking into these topics for myself, before I started publishing, it was called global governance or global warming, because the global warming idea was about wealth redistribution on a grand scale, the invention of carbon credits, these sort of things. More recently, it's been known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Klaus Schwab, who is a protege of Henry Kissinger, came up with this idea. He wrote a book called The Fourth Industrial Revolution, Shaping the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And last June, he wrote a book, COVID-19 and the Great Reset, which is just a rebranding of the Fourth Industrial Revolution idea. So they've had this idea for 40 or 50 years. And you know, these people, that a credo of never let a good crisis go to waste. And they're Johnny on the spot with their Great Reset. So who is it? It's the World Economic Forum. It's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Actually, those are the same groups that were behind Event 201, but that's a topic for a Grand Theft World podcast, not this presentation. The World Economic Forum was founded in 1971 by Klaus Schwab. They started meeting at Davos. They're meeting right now. They're not in Davos this year. It's an online meeting, I'm pretty sure. But while they are doing literally the Great Reset meeting somewhere around the world in their distributed fashions of centralized authoritarianism, we are here enjoying the Greater Reset. All right, so the Great Reset, what's it all about? It's first off, it's top down, it's collectivist. It's not about individual rights or individual private property, these sort of things that have been fought for hundreds of years, that started out with philosophy and moved into actions. No. It's about centralized, authoritarian, individuals become dependent. And what you see is a lot of hypocrisy. What's good for them is not good for us. The ruling class has their own set of rules that they're now openly abiding to in front of everybody, that you guys wear 2 masks and they shall have the French laundry dinner. That Gavin Newsom. So the Great Reset, there's a lot of hypocrisy involved with it. That's what kind of gets people. It's the irony. So they've got this video that by 2030, you're going to own nothing. You're going to be happy. And that's a claim. They're substantiating. That's their claim. That's their marketing for this reset. In reality, by 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be free to be a slave. That's essentially what you are when you can't have private property, when you can't own property. Through history, I'm a forensic historian, through history, you tend to be property if you can't have property. If you can't have a First and Second Amendment style where you can speak what you want and defend yourself as a free human being, you're probably not free. And what is the word for a slave that doesn't know that they're a slave? The fact that we don't have a word for that should maybe put an impression on you. So in reality, it's a grandiose wealth redistribution campaign. And if you're asking who benefits from all this, look at the billionaires who have all doubled their value since the COVID reset idea has hit the street. So it's not us. It is definitely a they, them, those who can easily be named. They're out there, but it's not about taking action against them. It's rather they can only take the actions they're doing right now because of our apathy, our inaction, our assumptions. So it takes a lot of repetition for them to get their lies across as reality, but it'll never make it a reality. How could this happen? How could we have a population that's so easily subservient and submissive? Well, they thought about this for a long time, and they took our education system. They took the free will out of it. That's what makes it schooling in the first place. And then they took a lot of essences out, the components that allow you to have intellectual self-defense, to have critical thinking, creative problem solving, be able to have project management, be able to time management, these sort of things that are useful for adults to be productive, capable individuals. And it's not accidental that these things are gone from our system. It slowly was done over the 20th century, generation by generation. It started with the Prussian education system being brought to America in the 1800s. This is what John Taylor Gatto's work demonstrates through the ultimate history lesson in the underground history of American education. Dumbing us down, weapons of mass instruction. Those are some of his books. And then it mingled with the goals of the Anglo-American establishment, which was to bring America back into the British Empire. And to do that, they had to dumb down our generations over a century. They had to take away the understanding of our basic rights as human beings. And it had to be able to make us more mergeable with the British Commonwealth's goal of globalism. And that's what globalism really is. It's kind of a form of imperialism. And now the new flavor added on to all this recently is the importation of things like social credit system for purposes of control from China. So they are doing a top-down authoritarian type of power move that we have seen in history. 1917 Bolshevik Revolution. We've seen it in the Communist Revolution under Mao Zedong, that was funded and provided aid by the same foundations that were running it right now in America. So who are these people? That's not the question for right now, because that could be answered, but it takes longer. What are they doing? Well, they will use force, fraud, violence, coercion, extortion, blackmail, all these sort of things to make their assumptions in their manifesto into a reality. But that will never make these things that they're doing the truth. And if they back it up with violence, violence is always an admission of intellectual bankruptcy. So the fact that we can take the moral and intellectual and ethical high ground on these problems is a good starting point. We'll get to the solutions in a minute, but we still have to learn about their plan. Their plan sucks. Their plan sucks, but it will be the plan for our future unless we make better plans for ourselves. So this is really a great opportunity for us to take that self-responsibility, to take those steps for self-reliance that we probably could have, should have, would have taken earlier in life, but things were so comfy before the COVID, right? So as individuals, what can we do about it? Well, we have to balance the natural law of the deterministic things in our physical reality with our ability to invoke our free will. Without the free will aspect, and very much the technocrats believe that human beings don't have free will. That goes back in the late 1800s, where they think of people as clockwork oranges or mechanic automatons instead of autonomous. So the free will aspect is key in overthrowing the whole structure, because their structure depends on people being assumptive, submissive, not asking questions, and these sort of things, right? So the free will aspect, coupled with the scarcity problems that come with physical reality, allow us the freedom to overcome these obstacles. So there's a part of the equation that most people are acquiescing because of their assumptions.